Real estate is a nascent business in India yet, and organized retail has been evolving so much in the last few years to keep itself afloat. Today I have with me the CEO of a one-of-its-kind mall in India, Mahesh M, CEO of Ishanya Mall. Thank you so much, Mahesh, for being with us.
Pleasure, mine.
It's a delight to have you.
Thank you.
Especially because of the kind of mall that you have. First of all, can you explain to us what is this mall about and why is that you insist it should not be called a mall?
Ishanya is a destination, one of its kind destination in terms of what it has to offer to the consumers of Pune and a little beyond Pune as well. The reason why I said that or prefer that it doesn't get called as a mall is because of the fact that we have something that a general purpose mall doesn't offer, and we don't have quite a few of the things that falls within the definition of what a mall is. Okay. Typically a mall immediately means a food court, immediately means a multiplex, immediately means a lot of, I would say, shopping for apparel and jewelry and footwear and grocery and so on. We at Ishanya have a purpose and the core purpose of what Ishanya stands for. In fact, the term Ishanya in Sanskrit means northeast. You convert it, it's northeast, that's the purest part of the home where we actually start, when an architect or a designer starts doing up a home plot on his drawing board, he starts by marking the northeast corner. So we said that Ishanya is all about anything and everything for home, and enhancing the lifestyle of homes. That being the case, we felt that we are more unmall than a mall. And add to that, or rather reinforcing that, is the way we have been built up. The architecture of Ishanya, as you have probably seen when we went around, is such that it is not one typical, big box, completely air conditioned, clinically kept in terms of looks and feel, sort of monolithic in its appearance. It's nothing of that sort. You see 6-7 different buildings, each having its own character, each having its own definition, each having its own complete, I would say, uniqueness. And added to that is the retail that goes into it. Each arcade, as we call each of them, we've got about 7 arcades, each of them having a separate anchor to drive the business and surrounded by a lot of other brands as well.
I see.
That's why it is.
Mahesh, first of all, tell us about the arcades that you have here. We just noticed that it's quite different from the rest of the structures that we have seen in the past.
Yeah. So
briefly,
we've got about 7 arcades, and each arcade, as I said, has got multiple levels. Some have got 2 levels, some have got only 1 level, some have got 3 levels. Depends on, and that's why it's spread over 10 acres of space. It's not a big box put up in a small space. Right. And each arcade has got a different retailer to anchor them. We've got Hometown of the Future Group anchoring one of the arcades. We've got At Home of the Neel Kamal Group anchoring one of the arcades. We've got our own brand called House Life. It's an enabled venture of retail by our group. So that anchors another arcade. And we've got a complete 40,000 square feet arcade completely for a fine dine food experience. And we've got the iconic, the very famous brand from Bombay in terms of music-based F&B and entertainment called Blue Frog, anchoring one of the other arcades. So that's the way we've sort of put together, different arcades, but stitched together with a common purpose, that of obviously making the consumer and his home lifestyle enhanced.
Okay. Ours being a B2B news portal as well as magazine, let me ask you, what are the challenges that you faced in setting up this mall? Because it's quite different and probably you are setting the trend.
Yeah. See, 3 things. The first and foremost is that we are probably much ahead of our time in terms of our thinking as well as our vision. So when we have a vision that's far reaching in terms of, yes, we need to enable homemaking to be a joyful experience, it's easier said than done. So to make that happen, obviously the challenges were that since we are ahead of time, to get the conviction in the concept, to get the, I won't say the composition of the concept right, has taken us time. So, ultimately it's all about understanding the consumer and giving them what they want. So if that be the case, at some point of time, if we realize that it's going to be more for their homemaking rather than done by an influencer, so we need to see to it that there's a right balance struck between B2B and B2C. I think that's where one of our challenges
is. But Mahesh, this mall was started as a building material essentially for building material, sourcing of building material. Now, why did that change?
No, it wasn't started only for the sake of building material. It was supposed to be, or it was expected to be a specialty mall for interiors and exteriors.
Right.
And exteriors, if you largely understand I'm sure you know the various categories of exteriors, and to a certain extent all the building materials as well. What happens is we also took our time to understand the business, that it is largely done at source rather than probably going shopping for it. So when we have built this kind of an infrastructure, it's meant for people to come in and shop. But most of the building materials are addressed at source by the developer community and the builder friends. So they take care of it right at the source itself.
You would say the developer would get the cement right from the company which manufactures it, or tile companies.
Absolutely. So, and we've got all these building material manufacturers and retailers meeting the architects and designers at their homes and meeting the builders at their offices. So there are probably bulk deals signed, probably long-term deals inked. So the replacement market becomes more of a target audience for us rather than the new market. I'm talking about the new building or the new construction market. So the replacement market again works in a different. The channel for that is completely different.
So Mahesh, what is the B2C B2B ratio in here?
I would say it's about 60 and 40.
60 is for B2B.
60 is for B2C and 40 is for B2B. The reason why I'm saying 60 to 40, though I'm talking of in terms of the time, the amount of time that we spend with each of these types of customers, also with the amount of, I would say, concentration that we give to each of these customers. But in terms of business, I would say it's about 80-20 in terms of consumers being 80% of our, the sales that happens here, and about 20% happening through the influence, the architect and designer fraternity. It's about 80-20.
Will that change?
I think what will happen is the absolute values will increase. While the ratios may more or less remain the same, the absolute value, because there's enough of it available. So it's about the absolute values increasing. So we do intend to work, and we are doing that on a continuous basis with architects and designers to see that more of them come in, and so the absolute value goes up. But probably at the same time, in equal proportion, the consumer offerings also are going to be increasing. So more or less the ratios may remain the same.
One question which really crops up is, why did you not tie up with developers or architects or even interior designers directly and try to...
That's an interesting question and a very difficult one to answer. See, there is always a wish that we would like to tie up with the builders and we would like to tie up with the developers directly. But having said that, as I said earlier, the companies, ultimately we are a marketplace. Imagine.
What I was trying to ask you is, will you be tying up in future?
I believe so, but it again depends on the value addition that we can do to those tie-ups. Those tie-ups will not be transactional. The tie-ups have to be far more relational. The tie-ups have to be where we can add more value to whatever the brands or retailers in the particular categories offer.
Mahesh, why did you begin at Pune? Is it because it's it's the township capital of India?
See, Pune has got a rich tradition to it. It's a historic city. More importantly, Pune has got a very different or a unique mix of both the service class as well as the upcoming IT and ITES class. So there's a huge influx of the migrant population coming from other parts of India, and I guess Pune is following closely on the steps of Bangalore in terms of converting itself into IT hub. On the other hand, it is very strongly rooted in terms of its fundamentals of manufacturing, and that economy is also equally strong. So I think the right place to start off would be Pune. Part two of the answer is that Pune is a design haven. So Pune is probably one of the very few cities in India where there's a lot of importance given to design, and the designer community here is very active. And the designer community is very proactive as well in terms of trying to be there first among all others. And when a point in notice, somebody like the IIIT, the Institute of Indian Interior Designers, the Pune region chapter is the first one to complete 25 years.
Okay.
So I think they are the first one among so many IIITs that exist all over India. So these two reasons: one in terms of being the right target market, and also the reason that we have a strong design ethos. That's why we chose Pune.
Is there I believe there is an anchor in every arcade of yours.
That's right.
Usually an arcade, an anchor in any mall is the actual point where people are drawn into the mall. Is it the same philosophy that works here?
See, the definition of anchor is somebody who is able to draw people. So that goes without saying. But yeah, the only difference that we have in the way we have structured our anchoring is that each arcade with an anchor is able to see to it that there is enough of I would say irrigation of the consumers across different arcades. So it doesn't limit itself to one arcade. So people, they know that typically if you go into any other mall, you have a hypermarket which is an anchor or a multiplex which is an anchor. So you see them going there and probably exit from there. They may not be doing the rest of the irrigation. So by having an anchor in every arcade, we are able to see to it that people spend more time in each of the arcades.
Kishore Biyani quite often says that in Big Bazaar, most people don't go to his multiplex while they are shopping. They go to see a movie and come out seeing a movie. They don't go around anywhere. Although the whole design is made in such a way that people are supposed to go do some impulsive buying and all that. So that is the culture of a retail mall, which probably the multiplex will not be able to draw people to a shop. Now, in your case of mall, is there any such challenges that you have to face?
If you're asking,
people decide, okay, I need only kitchenware or kitchen stuff, and I would go and buy that and come out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a common fact. Ishanya is completely meant for very specific needs. So what happens is somebody looking for a kitchen, he comes here and looks at all the offerings of kitchens. By the way, I mean, it's not that I love a sofa, so I pick it up. It may not happen that way. But by the way, they may look at something that triggers their impulse and picks up.
One of the problems which retail malls
typically have.
Okay. Now, Mahesh, what about the rentals? How are the rentals here with your occupiers?
Okay. See, we've gone on those days. I mean, I think that's reality. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it as well. I think most real estate developers, most mall owners or mall developers as they're called, today work largely on what are called revenue shares. So we are on revenue shares as well with most of the brands here. Yeah, there are the brands who also are on fixed depending on the size of the store they have. But largely we are on revenue shares and they vary anywhere between 25 rupees to 50 rupees a square feet.
Okay, and what about the revenue share?
The revenue share converted into rentals is what varies anywhere between 25 to 50 rupees.
Okay. And what is the footfall right now here?
Okay, that's a standard question that everybody asks me, and I have a very standard answer to that. I would say a prepared answer, an answer that's quite apt to it is that we are not actually really crazy after footfalls, but what we are keen is to maintain a consistency in the quality of footfalls. So while we do get around 15,000 people walking in, rather than calling them as footfalls, 15,000 people coming into Ishanya, and we've got a car parking facility that can host around 800,000 cars. So they come in here with a purpose in their mind, and they come here and enjoy their
which essentially means your rate of conversion is quite high.
It's significantly high. And that goes without again saying, because
how much will that be, rate of conversion?
It varies from store to store and retailer to retailer, but on an average it varies anywhere between 40 to 50%.
That's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the cost of this project right from the beginning?
I think those are available in the public domain, but it's roughly around 250 crores is what's been
entirely funded by
the group. Yeah, by the group. Yes.
Okay. And any idea of raising money from the market for this particular project?
No, we don't. See what? In fact, I've gone on record over the last few months saying that what we have done and what we are intending to do is that without any further fresh investments into this project, our idea is to transform it into what it was originally envisioned as. So one, in terms of making it into a hub and a marketplace, a dominant marketplace for home shopping, as well as to also convert it into a place where the second large category that we are working on in terms of food and beverage becomes by itself another very strong draw. So we'll be working on two categories and seeing to that it are differentiated offerings and powerful enough to draw people from Pune and beyond. So without any further fresh investments is what we are looking at.
And I believe it's still not making profit and it's still not breaking even.
That's right. So that's the journey that we are in, and that's one of the.
When do you think you will break even?
We are looking at turning around the corner by next year, and signs are, I would say, quite positive on that front in terms of both the encouragement that we are getting from the retailer fraternity as well as the consumer fraternity. So if both of them help us, I think we'll see it through.
Mahesh, what about the customer coming from all over India. Is that only local customers that come here, or is it that architects from across the country come here?
See, our wish is to obviously make Ishanya into a place where people and architects and designers from all over do come in. We want to invite as many from as many places as possible. But right now, I think it's Pune and the 6 sisters, the 6 surrounding cities of Pune, like Ahmednagar, Kolhapur, Nasik, Sangli, and Satara. So these are the places from where people do come in. Bombay is, yes, I always say this, that from South Bombay to western suburbs is a challenge to drive the traffic. But yeah, we do get people from Thane as well coming in. Slowly and steadily, hopefully, we would like to work on trying to bring in the Navi Mumbai people as well here.
But then is it also not because your marketing has not been enough? Most people may not be aware of this particular project.
I would tend to partly agree, partly disagree, because this kind of place does not require, or may not require the kind of blitzkrieg that probably the other categories would require.
No, I'm not about B2C. I'm talking about B2B itself.
Yeah, B2B. We see again. It's a long journey. We've started off some time back, and then along the way in the middle we did slow down a bit. Once we wanted to open up this place in terms of its physical architecture also, we've tried to make it as far more inviting than what it was earlier. The efforts will continue. I agree with you. We'll have to increase the efforts.
What are the challenges of logistics of delivery?
See, the last mile delivery is always a challenge in India. So whatever be the category, we try to see. Ultimately, it is we work very closely with the retailers. They work closely with their supply chain partners to ensure that the delivery and the assembly happen on time. So I think 8 out of 10 times we're probably getting it right.
If a developer or an architect comes here to book stuff, there is no problem of delivering those, and does it add to your freight cost?
No, as I said, that's an answer that I have to split into 2 parts. If it is for house life you're talking of, which is the retail venture, then it's different, where we've got a backend in place, we've got our IT systems in place, and the supply chain is tied up in relation to the brands, depending upon the product and depending upon the customization elements, the level of customization, delivery periods vary. And if I were to answer for the rest of the retailers, I guess they have their warehouses as well in Pune and or from Bombay, and they have overnight journeys, and they generally stock. And whatever is not in stock, they obviously get the customers, I would say, approval or permission to deliver it after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever be it.
Mahesh, one interesting aspect of organized retail is the competition that you're getting from online. Now everybody talks about the problem that online is providing to organized retail. What is your opinion? How will things pan out in the near and or rather midterm and the long term?
I think I don't want to give a cliched answer of saying that online is going to help us. Online is certainly here to stay, no doubt about it. But as far as our category is concerned, largely the home and interiors, the home lifestyle enhancement business, I think it's still a lot more touch and feel. And while a lot of online players are coming in, which is very welcome, because what they do is they improve the supply chain efficiencies, etc. I think still, somebody was giving me an example saying that even in a developed country like the US, an extremely developed country like the US, the penetration of online retail is anywhere between 12 to 15%. So if that be the case compared to organized physical retail, I think physical retail in India is still going to be for our category. So what we intend to do is obviously work, and we have invited of online retailers also to look at setting up offline stores. Okay. It's not a battle of you versus us, it's a battle of you and us together to meet the customer's requirement. So we are inviting, and we have already started talking to online retailers who are keen to expand in this category, and we have spaces to offer. So we are inviting them to set up offline stores and extend an additional channel.
Got it. Mahesh, in comparison to your home as well as commercial real estate, how much will be the ratio right now?
Commercial real estate as in?
Office space, SEZs, all those...
what we as at a land bank level have? We are serving? We are, I would say...
It's 100% home?
It's 100% home. 95% home, maybe 5% of others, which could include offices and
office
commercial
furniture.
Office furniture and all that.
Okay.
So.
And will that go up in any near future? Is there any plan for that?
Not really. I don't think so. See, I think as I was saying earlier, I think people are now evolved enough that their personal lifestyle has started including home. Earlier, the home as a category used to be kept outside the ambit, and then people used to think about their personal lifestyle of apparel, footwear, jewelry and all that. Now home lifestyle is becoming part of personal lifestyle, and as that increases, as that proportion increases, the interest level increases, I think home itself is a large enough category for us to serve.
Okay.
And going forward, we'll think about something.
3 minutes left. Let me squeeze in 3 questions quickly, Mahesh.
Yeah.
Don't you think you will soon run out of space with these 6 arcades in your space? Because
I'm looking forward to that situation, because then it's not plenty of problem, it's a problem of plenty. So I would look forward to that kind of situation.
And you will also be going to other cities?
What we have in mind is first to, we've gone through lots of trials and tribulations here. We'll get this model absolutely right. And once you've got a model absolutely right, and I would say consolidate here, that is when we'll probably open up our brain to even think of other cities. But right now, the focus is make this work and work very well.
Okay. Are there any foreign models of such malls? From where
yes, there are. We haven't borrowed anything when we started off, but yes, certainly there are. As we are seeing a lot of some similar models in Europe as well as in China.
And what are the lessons that you learned from them?
They are much larger in scale. What we have tried to take from them, imbibe from them, is the kind of category width and depth that they try to build up. It's not about being.
And it's a mature market.
China is still not a mature market. Europe is certainly a mature market, but they ensure that they are not. They just don't show a category presence, but they show the depth. So if it's kitchens, 10 brands. If it's furniture, 10 brands. So there's a lot more to be looked at. Yeah, the biggest learning is that they sell brands. They do not sell products. So when you go to any of these malls, there's a lot of home and interior brands. So people start getting the brand culture rather than probably the product culture. So we have started off much ahead of time. We hope that we'll be able to reach that.
And Mahesh, also because increasingly it's been seen that rural India has got more money than the city. So do you think your sales will be more generated by the rural population than?
As I said, the 6 cities around us, the 6 towns around us have quite a bit of agricultural wealth, etc. We'll certainly look forward to more of them coming here, and our efforts in terms of the marketing efforts, as you call them, are going to be focused there as well.
Any other new verticals of real estate that is going to be added?
Not that I can talk of right now.
Tiles or
no, nothing on the building material. What we intend to do is see bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, kitchens. See, bathrooms, we're going to be limiting ourselves to probably the vanities and the shower cubicles and the shower panels, not getting into the construction material as well, or the sanitary fittings. So that's again a trade-driven.
Last question, Mahesh, 20 seconds. Future plans. What are your future plans?
Future plan: make this place rock. So, in a single line, if I have to say, I have to make this place completely succeed. F&B as a category runs very well. Home and interior as a category runs very well. Together, we say we make lifestyle for homes and life for you. So that's it.
Lifestyle for you and life. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.